And welcome to the Charlotte Bobcats post-game report. I'm the coach, Dick Cox, joined by Dustin Phifer. Well, Dustin, again, the young Bobcat team, I'll say, probably had a chance to do something first time ever history in the organization, sweep the Knicks in the first week, though. Came out a little bit short tonight. Good effort tonight, I thought, though. But the Knicks really focused on this game, and they played, as they put it, Knicks basketball.
They definitely did. The Knicks really wanted this game. You talked about trying to sweep the Knicks in 1 week. After the Bobcats won in New York, the Knicks decided to have a players-only meeting. So they knew how important this game was. They came out. Carmelo played well. Bargnani played well. And they really focused a little more than the Bobcats. The effort was there, but the focus and the execution wasn't there, and that's how the Knicks got the win.
Again, in talking with Raymond Felton, first of all, he pointed out tonight that in watching the film from last game, they felt like the young Bobcat team gets most of their points in transition, and they really tried to concentrate on transition defense, getting back to shut them down and do a good job on that. They also, in talking with Carmelo Anthony, said a big key tonight was they got better ball movement by the Knicks, but more importantly, he said they took care of the basketball. They did not have the turnovers, the careless turnovers. I think they finished the game tonight with 12 turnovers. And again, he said this was a must-win for us tonight. That's how serious, and that's good to see. That ought to make Bobcat fans feel good. Not that you lost the game, that people are not just looking at you as a W, go on to the next town, go from there. But he said this was a must-win, a game they had to have, and it was a sense of urgency in the way they played tonight.
Not many times you hear an NBA team say in the 5th game of the season for them that this is a must-win. But when you're the Knicks, you saw it, Coach. They were a playoff team last year, been a playoff team for the last couple of years, so they're a team that knows they're trying to compete for a championship, so they don't want to get on that slow start and try to catch up with the Heat and the Pacers of the Eastern Conference. They want to battle back, and they knew that, and this was a really good game for the Knicks. I give them a lot of credit. As much as the Bobcats maybe didn't do, the Knicks really went out there and executed, and it started with Tyson Chandler out and having Bargnani at center, having him roam around to be able to shoot three-pointers and move the ball really helped this team. 12 threes for them compared to 4 for the Bobcats, which was really the difference in the game. And every time the Bobcats would try to make that run, which we saw some spurts, the Knicks had an answer, and they were able to knock down a big shot and extend the lead.
And what you mentioned right there, too, was something that Carmelo said, that there was a mismatch at the center position, though, when Bargnani actually had to go to play in a 5 rather than a 4 position for him, though. They sensed that Biz was awkward and said that they had talked to Bargnani, too, about being more aggressive all week long. They thought he needed to shoot more, which is kind of funny. Carmelo said he liked it. He came out tonight with a shooter mentality, and he said he liked shooter mentalities, though. But they knew there was a mismatch, and it ended up being 25-1 in the scoring.
Hey, let's not forget this guy Bargnani was a #1 pick in the NBA draft. I mean, he played for the Raptors, kind of got lost up there, he had a couple of good years, but kind of fell off. He comes to the Knicks where he's not the sole #1 guy. He's behind Melo now, and they need him to be aggressive. The guy can shoot lights out for a 7-footer, and for him to be able to shoot those three-pointers, and like you said, Biz chasing him around all night, that's just a tough matchup for Biz. Biz tried as hard as we don't want to hate on him, but that's just a tough matchup for a lot of people in this league when you have a 7-footer running around the three-point line and knocking down everything he shoots. So just a tough matchup for the Bobcats. Like I said, I want to give more credit to the Knicks because, like you said, Coach, you talked to them, they put in the focus on this game, and they knew how bad they needed it, and they came out here and executed, and you got to tip your hat on games like that.
And again, the thing, like you're saying right there, too, it was not – the Bobcats did not play bad tonight. Right. The Knicks just shot the lights out and did the little things and executed. They've got, right at this point right now, more experienced talent than the Bobcats, and they did what they needed to do to win the game. And, I mean, as a coach, this is one of those games you can live with. You came out and played. You got beat by a better team tonight.
Yeah, and Coach Ewing talked about it, coaching his first game with Steve Clifford out with with some heart complications. Our prayers out to him. We hope he gets better fast. But Coach Ewing said it. He said, look, the guys went out there and they tried hard, but they were just, as far as the Knicks execution, they were a step behind, and they couldn't really get the stops they needed. And like you said, Coach, that's a veteran team who knows when they need to go out there and execute, they can do it. The Bobcats, who have a lot of expectations, like you talked about now, the fans are happy with how they're playing. They're still young, and they still have to learn that, hey, when that other team comes out and really bears down, you got to match that intensity, and that's kind of where they were off a little bit tonight.
And, the thing I like, too, and again, I mentioned this to Patrick Ewing, and he may not understand this because he just got here. He's a new coach. But I like the attitude, and that the fans and the players were upset they did not sweep the Knicks this week and all. That's how high the expectations are right now. They feel like with the new coaching staff, with the new players in there, this team has a chance to win. every time they go on the floor. Now, they're not going to win 70 ball games, but they got a chance to compete, whereas in the past it was more or less you were trying to name how bad are we going to get beat tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And this team knows now, like you said, you don't know how many games they're going to win. You don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. But this team, at least now, with this coaching staff and with this group of players, they know they're going out to the court every night that they should have a chance to win every ball game. And even in this game, Coach, you look at that first half, the Bobcats, were, as far as executing their offense, were not playing well, and they were able to keep that to a 4-point lead at the half. It's just that the second half, the Knicks came out still firing, and it just wasn't enough to catch up. So the Bobcats still were right there, even on kind of what you would call an off night for them. So this team definitely has what it takes to go out here and win ball games. And with this coaching staff coaching them and these players growing together, you never know what can happen this year. Like you said, I like what they're doing, and they got another winnable ball game here at home Monday night against the Atlanta Hawks.
The thing I really liked about this team tonight was that we said the Knicks were hitting on all cylinders. And there were several times they pushed the lead up that the Bobcats would get it down to 10. They'd come down, hit 3 in a row. It'd been a 19-point game. And there would have been times tonight when they could have mailed it in and said, hey, we got a game on Monday. Let's go on and rest and just kind of cruise through, get this thing over with, and we'll reload for Atlanta. But I like the way, regardless of the score, the Bobcats battle to the very end. They were taking the ball to the basket strong. They were playing hard. They were not letting up. They were hustling in defense, pressuring the ball. And that will win you games, maybe not tonight's game, but down the road. That kind of effort and that kind of mentality will win you games down the road.
It definitely will win you ball games, and it's a perfect segue to Coach. I hate to mention it every video we have, but they're playing without their best player right now. The guy has been hurt. He's only played in one game in the season opener. So if you told me right now that the Bobcats were 6 games in and didn't have Al Jefferson and they're sitting at 3-3, I think anybody in this city would have taken that record. And now here we are, we're hearing some rumblings that Al Jefferson may play on Monday night against the Hawks. You get him back, Coach. You talk about struggling on offense. Think about when you're struggling to have that big guy like Al Jefferson to throw the ball in the post to get you an easy bucket. This team has got a lot of momentum going for them even after a loss tonight. They get their best player back in Al Jefferson. They get their coach back in Steve Clifford. He comes back on the bench, and they got a lot of things to look forward to in this season.
Bobcats do have 2 home games next week. They've got one Monday. The Hawks, I saw the Hawks play in Asheville, an exhibition game. Bobcats did not play any starters in the fourth quarter of that game. Hawks played 3, and it went down to final second shot. We match up well with them, and then got a huge game with the team that I hate the most. The Heat come in here. This place will be packed. It'll be rocking on next Saturday night, though. So, again, 2 big ball games next week. It would be good if we can keep this thing rolling.
It would be great, Coach. If somehow they get a win on Monday night against the Atlanta Hawks and get to 4-3, they go to Boston on Tuesday night, who has been one of the worst teams in the league so far this year.
And winless, I think.
Well, I think they finally got their first win last night. You're right, they've been winless. So if you go and maybe get a win on the road there against a bad team, you could be sitting at 5-3 coming home to play the Miami Heat. And think of how this place would be with LeBron and them coming to town, the defending 2-time NBA champions, and your Bobcats with a winning record. This place would be electric.
Good start for the Bobcats. Came to a little bit of a roadblock tonight. They get the loss with a 101-91 defeat to the Knicks, though. But good things to come out of this team, though. We'll be back Monday night to bring you a report with Atlanta Hawks. I'm the Coach Dick Cox. He's Dustin Phifer. We'll be here for you after all home games to let you know what's going on. Good night, everybody.